From IBMTV, International Broadcast Media, this is your report from Washington. We are 28 days away. The Trump campaign announced it was launching Operation MAGA, a series of in-person and virtual campaign events to be held by surrogates and stand-ins for Trump for the final days of the election. Pence will take a leading role. Wednesday, he will participate in the vice presidential debate with Senator Kamala Harris. Biden is scheduled to travel to Florida today. Nationally, Biden holds a 14-point lead over Trump, according to a post-debate poll released by NBC News, The Wall Street Journal, on Sunday. He leads Trump by 4 points in Arizona, 5 points in Florida, 7 points in the states of Pennsylvania and New Hampshire, and they are dead even in Ohio. In Supreme Court watch, North Carolina Senator Tom Tillis and Utah Senator Mike Lee both said Friday that they had tested positive for the virus, but both expect to vote in favor of the nominee later this month. That nomination is extremely important given that the court will immediately be faced with significant cases. First, the court will hear a dispute involving a Philadelphia Catholic agency that won't place foster children with same-sex couples, a significant test of religious rights. Second, a week after the presidential election, the court will hear arguments in a bid by the Trump administration to overturn the Obama-era healthcare law. Coverage for more than 20 million people is at stake, along with the law's ban on insurance discrimination against Americans with pre-existing medical conditions. Third, the court will be confronted with election-related cases from Wisconsin, Alabama, Rhode Island, Florida, and Texas. Among the issues, ballot witness requirements and allowing all voters to vote by mail. In addition, the court will have to decide whether to keep in place a Pennsylvania Supreme Court decision extending the deadline for receiving and counting mail-in ballots. A case involving suspending the ballot witness requirements in North Carolina is also on the docket. Nationally, more voting rights cases are being fast-tracked. Fourth, the justice will hear arguments this month in a copyright dispute between technology giants Oracle and Google. The case is potentially worth $9 billion. In other news, New York City is moving to impose new shutdowns in parts of the city in response to the growing outbreaks of the COVID pandemic. The city will reverse its reopening in 9 neighborhoods in Brooklyn and Queens beginning Wednesday morning. The shutdowns would affect more than 500,000 residents. Globally, European nations are dealing with a new COVID outbreak. 4 European nations are in the top 10 for most deaths. At number 5, Britain. At number 6, Italy. At number 8, France. And at number 9, Spain. Bars and cafes in Paris will be shuttered and the city will go on maximum COVID-19 alert on Wednesday. The UK and Germany have both instituted restrictions on gatherings in highly affected areas. In the economy, in the U.S., 4.5 million Americans are looking for work right now after losing temporary or permanent jobs due to the pandemic. And more furloughs and work stoppages are turning permanent as the COVID pandemic persists. Without a mass surge of hiring significantly above the 600,000 jobs level in September, the tidal wave of unemployment that is poised to hit in the next couple of months will overwhelm the economy and cause long-term structural damage. Meanwhile, residents of Geneva, Switzerland want a raise. 58% of the voters voted to set the minimum wage at 23 francs an hour, the equivalent of $25 an hour. Separately, but also on the horizon, long-simmering tensions between Armenia and Azerbaijan have flared up in the contested region located in Azerbaijan. The neighboring countries have long been at odds over the mountainous territory, which is situated within the borders of Azerbaijan, and fought a war over it that ended in 1994. This week, further evidence has emerged that rebels from Syria are being recruited to fight as mercenaries in the conflict. In a sign of the times, Tennessee officials accidentally listed 13 pallets of COVID testing materials and other supplies on an auction site. The supplies labeled as surplus were put up for auction. The auction had received one bid for $150 before the items were removed. Finally, the COVID death toll from Johns Hopkins is over 209,725 American souls lost, and 1,037,340 global souls lost with no end in sight. That is your report for October 5th, 2020, from IBM TV, International Broadcast Media, smart television for a smarter global community, from dictatorships to democracies around the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. I'm Bill Trezevant.